and humidity, lunged toward the open door, fighting to claim the car. Getting a ride on a Saturday night in Manhattan was no small feat. Glenn stepped away but didn't do anything to help shield Claire from the melee. Not that she needed a man to save her, but she wouldn't have minded a little chivalry. "So, what do you say?" Glenn asked once one of the couples had victoriously crammed themselves into the cab and left the other pair growling and punching at their phones, trying to find an available ride. "Say to what?" Claire asked, her mind still on the mini-drama over the taxi. "Being exclusive. You and me, together." "I think... well, I like you, Glenn." He grinned at her with his very straight teeth. "But the thing is..." Claire took a deep breath. "Don't you think we deserve more? I mean that in the nicest way possible. Maybe you're right, and we would be a good team. But don't you deserve something more than just a well-functioning team member by your side? Don't you deserve someone where, when she's gone, you still think about her all the time? Someone you want to text whenever you have a break in your schedule. And after a long day, you want nothing more than to curl up next to her and hear all about her day? Because, if we're being honest, I doubt you feel that way about me, right? And I respect you, Glenn, but I don't feel that spark with you either." Glenn crossed his arms across his polo shirt, which was now sweat-soaked at the pits. He closed his eyes briefly. Had she gone too far? But he'd said he appreciated Claire's clear-headedness, right? Like the attorney she was, she'd laid out a well-thought-out argument for their respective happiness. It just didn't involve being together. When he opened his eyes, he nodded calmly, as if he'd just considered a patient's description of a toothache. "What you described is, indeed, the fantasy. But that's all it is, a fantasy. And Claire, come on. You care more about practicality than passion. Look at your life. You're a lawyer, and you chose to go out with me, a dentist. We are people of responsibility. A little boring, a little uninspired, perhaps, but steady. Fantasies are for dreamers, not for dentists and lawyers like us." For the second time in just minutes, Claire found herself blinking at him. If Glenn had gotten angry or stomped off or something else dramatic, she could have taken it. But instead, he had returned her careful line of reasoning with a rational argument of his own. One that walloped her in the stomach far harder than if he'd told her to fuck off. "Claire?" She shook herself out of her thoughts. "No," she said. "I'm sorry, what?" "No," Claire said, looking him in the eye. "You're really nice, Glenn. And maybe you're right. But I'm not ready to give up yet. I still want..." "The impossible?" She bit her lip, then nodded. "Yeah." Glenn laughed without humor, but he was too placid a person to be angry. "All right, then. Best of luck to you, Claire. I hope you find the love of your life." "You too, Glenn." He nodded once, then headed off toward the subway station. Claire allowed herself one more long exhale, and then she turned in the other direction and began to walk toward the gallery where her friend Yolanda was waiting for her. Claire trudged through Greenwich Village, mostly oblivious to the people and storefronts, as what Glenn had said about her echoed in her head. Boring. Uninspired. You care more about practicality than passion. Was it true? Claire's life was remarkably predictable. She woke every morning at 5:30 a.m., went for a run through Central Park, came home and showered, then made the same oatmeal with raisins, walnuts, and cinnamon for breakfast. She left her apartment at 7:25 to catch the train, which got her through the front doors of the law firm at 7:47. Enough time to grab a coffee from the break room and read through any emails that had come in overnight before hopping on client calls starting at 8:30. The only thing Claire couldn't predict was when each workday would end, because sometimes there were calls with clients on the West Coast or even in Asia. But my reliability is why my clients love me, Claire thought, trying to reassure herself. And being reliable wasn't mutually exclusive with wanting to hold out for a bigger love, right? Then again, if she thought about